Good morning, beloveds. A very busy day yesterday. Today, my responsibilities end around 1 o'clock. Normally, I take Saturdays off and do nothing. I mean, I'll do little things around the house, but and yesterday, I left my house outside of going to the park, I left my house and then was just gone. But we went to see a play. It's called In the Heights, and it was very sweet. I mean, I've seen the movie, which is based on the play, and but these kids put their heart and soul into this and did a beautiful job. Go support community theater. One programming note: I have an eye doctor appointment tomorrow morning, so this probably will happen tomorrow night. Just so that if I can do it in the morning, I'll do it in the morning, but it won't be at 9 because I'll be at the eye doctor at 9. So if you're looking for this, if you don't see it, just check again that evening. So, all right. Okay. It is February 26th. Our title is The Wounded Healer. The first quote is, "In approaching the alcoholic, we have tried hard to capitalize on our one great natural advantage. That is, of course, our personal experience as drinkers who have recovered." And that is Bill W., co-founder of Alcoholics Anonymous. The second quote is, "If one appears to have failed, they should realize that there are no failures in the universe." That is Science Mind, page 302. In many tribal cultures, young babies with defects are set aside and designated as future shamans or medicine men, or medicine people, I guess. This practice is based on an ancient spiritual principle that people attract a challenge or a wounding so they can use that understanding gained in their own healing to assist others with the same problem. In modern culture, the same principle applies. Thus, a person born with a cleft palate becomes a surgeon specializing in the repair of cleft palates. A stutterer who corrects their problem becomes a speech therapist. A recovering alcoholic now works as a drug rehabilitation counselor. A modern example of the wounded healer can be seen in the life of Bill W., the co-founder of Alcoholics Anonymous. Faced with an illness which threatened to kill him, Bill W. was forced to come up with a workable solution to his alcoholism. His solution was to organize a society of fellow sufferers that has helped millions of alcoholics. The immensity of Bill W.'s suffering was redeemed by the infinite good that it accomplished. Because we all suffer spiritual, emotional, or mental or physical wounds, each of us has the capacity to be a wounded healer. Think back to the times that you have been the most effective in helping others. You will no doubt find that the wounds in others you helped to heal were the very same ones that you once overcame in yourself. I know that the wounds in my life have purpose and meaning. Using the understanding and compassion gained from my own recovery, I now reach out to others in the same situation. I give thanks for my ability to be of service in this way. And that is DB. I believe that's Douglas Bloch. Double check. Yes, Douglas Bloch. Okay. I have many thoughts, and let me see if I can get them coherent. The idea of a wounded healer is ancient. It is ancient. And frequently that's exactly what it is. It's whatever trauma, wounding that you have been through sets you up to help others who are going through the same thing. And honestly, when you go through practitioner training, that is one of the things that you learn in practitioner training is what you have been through. It will attract people to you who are going through the same thing. And so it's one of the things that we prepare practitioner students for. It's like, all right, whatever you have been through, that is who is going to come to you. Some of them will come to you because they know that you've been through this. because they know, you know, a little bit of your story. And others of them, I think they just sense it. But now, that being said, two things. One, you don't have to have been through the same trauma that somebody has been through to help them. It's not necessary. Okay? It is not necessary. So don't feel like if you've not had the trauma that you can't help the person. You absolutely can, because what you are doing is you are knowing the truth of their being. You know, so don't, yeah. And then the other part of that is, don't go seek trauma so that you can become a wounded healer. That's not necessary either. Too many of us have had traumas of our own, you know, to ever want somebody to go out and seek a trauma so that they can become a more effective healer. No. All right. What Douglas is talking about are the wounds that we pick up living this life. Just, you know, by virtue of showing up and doing in our life. Do not seek the wounds to become an effective healer. That's not the way this works at all. At all. What Douglas is reminding us is that if we have healed ourselves, and this is one of the ways that I've seen it put, it's like with, they say with survivors, if you have survived something, tell your story, because you are writing the pathway for others who may be going through the same thing as you. That's what a wounded healer is. Another way I've seen it is the appreciation for people who walked through the fire and are carrying buckets of water to put out the people going through it. It's like, I don't want you to suffer the traumas that I have been through. So let me share with you. And that's what Bill W. did. He said, this is awful. I don't want to do this anymore. Let me organize a group of people who can continue to help each other, support each other as we go through this. And hopefully we can catch other people before they get as deep as we did. And that is definitely of value. Now, you also, if you are going to do the wounded healer, you want to make sure that you are talking from your scars, not from your wounds. All right. Because as a wounded healer, you do not want to bleed all over people. So if you have an open and fresh wound, you go get that healed. It's like you help people from how you have healed, not how you were wounded. Okay. So there's a lot that goes into the wounded healer, and I'm a big believer in the wounded healer. I know lots of wounded healers. I happen to be a wounded healer, you know, but we talk from our scars, because the beautiful thing about scars is they almost always knit back stronger than the original surface that was wounded. All right. When bones are healed correctly, they heal back stronger than when they were broken. Same thing with skin. You know, scars on your skin are a whole lot stronger. And frequently, and yeah, it can create a weakness. And that's one of the things that we've checked with practitioner students is like, you know, it's like, okay, I know your story because I've been around. It's like, are you prepared for people to come to you who've had this issue? If you're not, that's okay. All right. That is okay. That's when you look at them and say, I will know the truth of your being, but I am not the practitioner for you. Let me suggest. So, and that's one of those things. It's like, so, you know, we talk from our scars, not from our wounds. And it is very important to know that when you do this kind of work. So, let me go back and look at Douglas, and then I will get off my soapbox. Okay. There is the first line he says in his little treatment, his little affirmation down at the bottom is, I know that the wounds of my life have purpose and meaning. Okay. So I don't want you to spiritual bypass that, because people will do that. Well-meaning people will come to you and say, oh, well, now that you've been through this, you can help other people. Yes, but I didn't want to go through it in the first place. So maybe I don't want to, just because I've been through a trauma does not mean I have to become a wounded healer. It doesn't mean that I have to use what I learned to help other people. So, and when you are in the middle of something and somebody comes to you and say, well, look for the silver, that's a spiritual bypass. Okay. When you are in the middle of suffering, then people need to let you work through it your way. They don't get to come to you and say, well, look for the silver lining, or look how much this is going to help. That's not okay. That is not okay. And don't do it to yourself. Don't do it to yourself. If you are genuinely working on healing a wound, do what you need to do. And don't let anybody rush you through the process. I'm talking about grief. Nobody gets to tell you how to grieve. Nobody gets to tell you how to grieve. That is your own process, and it can take as long or as little time as you like. We don't get to say, oh, well, it's just been this long and you're already through your grief. That's not okay. And we also don't get to go and say, well, it's been this long. Aren't you over it yet? Okay. All of that is spiritual bypassing. So do not feel like because you have been through a trauma that you need to become a wounded healer. Don't let anybody make you feel like that. Okay. That is your choice and that is on you. Now, that being said, I will take the mission today should we choose to accept it. I will take the mission today. Well, I don't know that I want to do that. Let me think about this for a minute. Oh, I don't want a spiritual bypass. I don't want to create that situation. So I'm just like, you know what? All right. The mission today, should you choose to accept it? The mission today, should we choose to accept it, is to heal ourselves in whatever way is best for ourselves. And then what we choose to do with that healing afterwards, we'll make that choice when we're done. All right. We'll make that choice when we're through with our healing, when we're far enough along in our healing that we can look at it and decide. That is the mission today. Heal yourself. Heal yourself and take inspiration from wherever it is that it comes. All right. We're not all going to be Bill W., but God bless Bill W. for, taking his illness in hand and saying, no, I'm not going to suffer alone and I'm not going to suffer in silence. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create an organization that can help lessen my suffering by bringing together a bunch of people. And you know what? With a lot of illnesses like that, that's exactly what we need. We need people to speak out about their experiences so that we know that we're not alone. And maybe that can be, everybody can be the wounded healer in that way. Everybody can come forward and say, I've had this experience. It's not okay. You're not alone. So, all right. Soapbox day. Okay. But other than that, and because we're talking about the wounded healing, what I'm going to say next is about practicing the spiritual principle of doing something loving for yourself, doing something kind for yourself, doing something compassionate for yourself. When you are healing, that is the best thing that you can do. To be loving, to be kind, to be compassionate. Frequently, I will say, whatever it is you're going through, be gentle with yourself. Well, practicing this on yourself, love, kindness, and compassion, that's what it is, being gentle. When we are healing, especially when we're bleeding everywhere, we want to be loving, kind, and compassionate. We want to take care of ourselves. That is exactly what this is. It is self-care. If you want to help other people, and even if you don't, you deserve self-care. You deserve to take care of yourself. You cannot pour from an empty cup. Take care of yourself. Take that deep breath. Take that walk. Take that nap. Take care of yourself. Practice on yourself because you're your own best test subject. If you choose to be a wounded healer, this is exactly what you have to do every day. Because as a wounded healer, you are going to look at your trauma every time you go to help somebody. And be kind and be compassionate and be loving with yourself and the people that you seek to help. Okay. I also want to remind you, it is about finding joy, especially when we are in healing, because healing is messy. It is. I'm not going to, make it sound like it's easy, and because it can be, but sometimes it's not. So, but in the midst of healing, you can find joy. So, eat dessert first. Your life is a special occasion. Even when it's messy, even when you're in the midst of healing, especially when you're in the midst of healing, your life is a special occasion. Treat it as such. Treat it as such. Don't save the good stuff. All right, beloveds, I'm going to move this along and remind you to do something to engage your mind and your body, unless today is your day of rest. To please drink plenty of water. Hydration is super important. Your brain will work better when it's well hydrated. To get that early in your day bright light. Artificial light does count because you are resetting a natural rhythm, a circadian rhythm. Life works better when we try and work in the natural cycles. Well, the circadian rhythm is a natural cycle. All right. It is a hormone balance. And when you get that early in your day bright light, it helps to reset those hormones. You'll have more energy during the day. You'll sleep better at night. All right. I know after yesterday, I'm going to crash today. And I'm going to crash hard, but I've got some stuff to do. So we'll see how that works out. Don't be afraid to take the nap. That's what I do on Saturday and Sunday when I'm home. I make sure to get in at least one good nap each day. So, all right. And then I like to remind you, in the words of Ernest Holmes, to open the windows of your soul. Allow the breath of heaven to remind you, you do live in heaven. Everywhere we look, all around us, everything is made from God's stuff, including us. You are made from God's stuff. Heaven is a state of mind. It's a state of consciousness. And once we learn to do it for ourselves, nobody can take it away from us. Nobody can take it away from us. And heaven ceases to be a place and can become any place. Potentially, it can become every place. All right? So, and what does opening the windows of your soul look like? Well, we've been talking about a wounded healer. That's part of it. When you share from a healed place, your trauma and your wound, and other people can use that as a guidebook to heal themselves. You don't heal people. What you do is you remind people how they can heal themselves. You are not the one that does the work. It is not I, but the Spirit within me that does the work. Remember that. Quote from Jesus. All right. So try it. Try it. You are a beloved child of God. You are a divine light. You are a brilliant spark. You are a divine spark. You are a brilliant light. You are spirit in action. You are God in motion. You are a godling, in whom God is well pleased and well represented always. All right. Know the truth of your being. Okay. I'm at the social media part. We are Creative Life Spiritual Soul, Creative Life Spark. I'm the running Ryan on the social medias that I am on. Please feel free to check into all the content that we put up. We have our moments, and sometimes it's really good. It's always good. Sometimes it's really good. So take care, check it all out. And if you want to know what's going on with the center, email info@creativelife.org. Get on that constant contact. The hot links are hot. Click here now means it'll either take you right to, like the playlists on the Soul Station playlist on our YouTube. It'll take you right to that. And then it's easy to like and subscribe from there. Or it'll take you to the person to help you get the information. So please check that out. All right. Moving right along. I'm in the part where I get to encourage you to have a great day, a wondrous day, a fantastic day, a magical day, an enchanted day, a wonder-filled day, an awesome day, a Sunday. a take a nap day, a get stuff done day, a I don't know what kind of day, a good day. And if that is too much pressure, simply have a day, because you are enough just as you are. You are a beloved child of God, as I've said before and will say again, because it is the truth. It is the truth of your being. Go to the source of your being. Check it out. It's pretty cool. All right, beloveds. Reverend David should be on around 5 p.m. with you. We are going to have an amazing service for you right here at 11 very soon. So keep an eye out for that. And then I will be back with you tomorrow, just not at 9 a.m. I'm not sure when. I don't know if it'll be at 10 or after 6. All right. So, but I'll do it. I'll get it done. All right. Take care of yourself. Know that you are loved, and I will see you next time.